Donnie here, and welcome to this week's episode of Stocks for Stoners. This week we're going to talk about SPACs. What's a SPAC, you ask? Well, a SPAC is a special purpose acquisition company. That's what it stands for. You might have heard that thrown around a lot lately. There's really a lot of SPACs going up and things like that. And so you're probably wondering what they are, and that's why I decided to make the video about it this week. So a SPAC, a special purpose acquisition company, that's the last time I'm going to say that one all the way through. We'll continue with the SPACs. A SPAC is an IPO, and if you don't know what an IPO is, go check out last week's video and come back, and you'll understand an IPO, and we'll talk about the rest of this. So, and now that you've come back from checking out that IPO video, we'll talk about those SPACs. So what they do is it's an IPO that is built up by investors, people in the industry, people who know what they're doing when they're setting up these things, I guess. And it's essentially what they're doing is they're building a blank check company. And what this does is it's a company that is set up that doesn't have any commercial purposes. There's no like obvious business going on there. There's no like store or shipping or anything like that. It's just somebody with a checkbook and a bunch of money, basically. Think of it that way. Think of like that rich buddy of yours that sleeps on the couch all the time and does absolutely nothing, and then like all of a sudden throws money out there for everybody else to go have fun. That's kind of like what a SPAC is, I guess, right? So what goes on with a SPAC is after they create their IPO, well, what they do, I should back up slightly there. When they create their IPO, they don't let anybody know what they're actually going out there and trying to acquire. If they do that, that could shift the price of their IPO around, whether it be good or bad, and that could obviously upset people in the industry, things like that. So those types of things are kept quiet. Sometimes they start up a SPAC just because they intend to go after something, even if they don't have a target in mind. But a lot of times it's because they have a target in mind. Like lately, there was Churchill Capital. They set up the SPAC CCIV, which is Churchill Capital 4, with the intent to acquire Lucid. At first, nobody knew what was going on with that. The SPAC was trading at about 10 to 10.50 a share. Once rumors started getting around that they were going to trade or acquire Lucid, then the shares started going up, blah, blah, blah. That's why they obviously don't put out those that information until it's time for them to put that information out, I guess. Because once the SPAC gets out there, they're IPO'd, they're on the market, they're selling the shares, there is a certain point where they do want everybody to know, hey, this is what we're looking at, we're going to acquire them, because that's going to get more investors and wanting to get in there and invest. And then at that point, the more money they get because they have an actual target in mind, the target they've let people know about. Once they have that in mind and stuff, and the more people invest, the more money it's coming their way, the more money they're able to put towards that acquisition, and able, in their ability to get it and put it out there and market it to you guys. So this is a quick way for companies, let's say, company B that sells pipes, they want to go big. They've been selling a lot of stuff. They sell in stores across the nation and sometimes in places around the world, things like that. They make a good amount of money. They want to go public. They want to do an IPO, but they don't know whether it's good, whether they just IPO themselves or if they go through a SPAC and have somebody else do it. Well, at that time, if it's harder for them to get out there and IPO for themselves, a lot of times it's easier for them to get that SPAC and do that. So, yeah. Basically, let's look at a couple of key takeaways here, just real fast, and that would be that it's a company that's meant to raise capital, so they can purchase another company, get them out there, or not really purchase, but acquire the other company and put that out there as the the IPO. Then, like I said, I already told you guys they don't have any. They're not going to put out that existing business or anything like that, any targets right away when they put out their SPAC. In fact, if you look up, I think CCX, which is another Churchill Capital stock, and I say that because I know what it is for other reasons. Anyway, if you look them up, I don't believe they have any actual target in mind. There are some rumors going around, nothing crazy, and so that's that SPAC is trading at about 10 to 10.50 a share and stuff like that. So that's one of the things, like I was saying, they just don't put that information out. And once they are ready to start acquiring something, they have in mind, they're doing talks and everything like that, then they'll let us know. In fact, the rumor about CCX, unless I might be behind on that, is that they're looking into Skillsoft, something like that. Some online learning. Anyway, I obviously picked them up before they got into any of those rumors. So we'll continue. I guess the only other thing I should let you guys know here at this point is that a SPAC generally has 2 years, pretty much has 2 years to acquire a company, or they have to give back the money to the investors. So say you've invested, $1,000 into a SPAC, bought a bunch of stock and everything like that, and then it's gone 2 years and they never made that acquisition. Rumors came around, went away, things like that. After the 2 years is up, then that money's just going to automatically get deposited back into your account, pretty much. I mean, basically they're just going to buy back the shares, and they're done. Then if they're going to start trying to target another company again, then they'll start up another SPAC at that point. But if they can't get a SPAC to acquire somebody after 2 years, in my own personal opinion, then I probably wouldn't pick up that company the next time they started up a SPAC. That's why I look at companies that generally have, a good track record. They have people they've picked up previously, good companies that they've picked up, not just some company they're like, oh yeah, we went and picked up this mom and pop shop that's going to do nothing for us. So yeah, those are things that you should obviously think about. Make sure you do your due diligence before you go out there and buy any SPACs at all. Don't take just because I mentioned Churchill Capital in this video, it is not a recommendation for you to go out there and buy anything at all. I am not a financial investor. These are just for entertainment purposes only and education only. So on that note, guys, we're going to end this video. I hope you learned a little something. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask down below in the comments, and I will answer. We'll even create new videos going into depth further on these things. Like I said, once I get a few of these videos going out that have this general information in them, I know that this is going to eventually come to a point where I can't just give general information anymore. I'm going to have to step into the further explanations of things. So at that point, we're going to be doing that, stuff like that, going into further explanations. I'll have much better prepared videos at that point. And in fact, I have, stuff, I've made purchases and things like that to get video equipment, video editing equipment, things like that, so that I can properly make videos for you guys. And as I give you these videos and in the future here, and I'm giving you the videos talking about, maybe going into the further about IPOs or things like that, then I can actually have the layovers on the screen like a lot of the big time guys on YouTube, which I hope to someday be. So guys, go ahead, hit that like button, make a comment below, ask me anything, ask me about any videos you would like to see me make, anything like that. I'd appreciate it. And you guys have a great day. Bye.